So we're looking at the full moon chart. This full moon in Ardra, Nakshatra, is happening on December 28th, 10:15 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So we'll experience this at about 2 a.m. Pacific Time, and on the west coast of the U.S., etc. So this is a powerful full moon because it's in Ardra Nakshatra and the sun is in Mula, so it's happening right on the plane of the galaxy. Very important, within a few degrees of the galactic plane. The plane of the galaxy runs from 640 of Mula Nakshatra to the very first degrees of Ardra, which is 0 Ardra Nakshatra. That's where the plane of the galaxy runs. So this full moon is happening right on the plane of the galaxy, which is very important. It was important to the Indians and also the Mayans. Their whole cosmology was based on the plane of the galaxy, and in fact the end of the Mayan calendar is not coincidentally timed with the precession of the equinoxes returning to the plane of the galaxy and resetting. So at any rate, that makes this a very powerful lunation, because you can even just realize this is the first full moon or new moon since the winter solstice. So just in that sense, the winter solstice was just a week ago. Now we have a full moon, and it's in Ardra Nakshatra, so it's very transformative and potentially not necessarily destructive, but very transformative time. There's a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of energy being changed quickly, globally and personally. And so a few of the things to talk about here, Ardra Nakshatra is ruled by Lord Rudra, who is also the Vedic version, you might say, of Lord Shiva, the god of transformation, that fierce quality of Shiva. Shiva actually has many moods, you might say, bhavas. Some of them are mild, like Shambho, and intelligence, Shankara, and the Lord of the Dance, Nataraj, and the blue-throated one, Nilakanta, and the king of the serpents, Nageshwara. But Rudra was the sort of the original version of Shiva that came from the Krishna Yajurveda, a section called the Sri Rudram, and it's there that you first heard the term Shiva, which is meant as a way to denote auspiciousness to Rudra. Shiva Rudraya, Shiva Rudra. Shiva means auspicious, or it's like a salutation of respect and honor. And so, but it was from the section of the Yajurveda called Sri Rudram to Lord Rudra, who is actually, as I say, like the sort of original incarnation of Shiva, a very powerful deity that actually brought down Lord Prajapati or Lord Brahma for committing a certain sin. At least that was the perception of the demigods. So this story of creation and destruction and transformation is very rich, and it's part of this section of the sky where we have Ardra Nakshatra, which is where the full moon is. So if you're feeling a lot of sort of destructive energy, potentially psychologically destructive and intense right now, this is why, as the moon has moved toward this full moon in Ardra and crossing the plane of the galaxy. So realize this is not just some metaphysical mumbo-jumbo. The sun and the moon are basically, like, from our vantage point, in the plane of the galaxy. When we're looking at the sun now, we're looking back into the center of the galaxy through the plane of the galaxy. It's just above the plane of the galaxy. When we're looking at the moon, we're looking away from the center of the galaxy in the plane. So we're oriented in space. Our solar system goes this way relative to the plane of the galaxy. And so Mula Nakshatra is where the sun is. We're looking at the sun with Mula behind it. That's where the sun is right now. And Ardra Nakshatra, we're looking away from the center of the galaxy. But we're oriented toward, we're very close to the plane of the galaxy right now in our orbital path, and both luminaries are close to it. So this is a lot of transformative energy here. Ardra Nakshatra is associated with a lot of natural disasters and wars and things like that. It's not the only thing that happens, but a lot of them happen when there are a lot of planets in Ardra Nakshatra. For instance, 9/11, the tsunami that happened several years ago, earthquake in Haiti, the Hurricane Katrina, a lot of natural disasters. Pretty much every war we've ever been in has an important, powerful quality of Ardra with planets there. So it's quite resonant. And, the other thing is now we have Mars in Capricorn, so there's a lot of transformational energy and a lot of courage right now to really take on those battles, you might say. We also have Mercury has moved into Sagittarius, which also gives a very intelligent, or it brings our intelligence, which is Mercury, and our information gathering in line with higher causes like our spiritual beliefs, our religion, and things like that. So it's a time where we could be really questioning and growing in the realm of our beliefs and really looking for them to make sense, looking for answers. So we might be questioning our teachers a lot, questioning our teachings and being inquisitive about that. Additionally, we have Saturn exalted, which is bringing a certain amount of forbearance and pressure, and a sort of pressure that is oriented towards shattering our illusions around relationships and our part in screwing them up, for lack of a better way to put it, not just romantically, but with all interactions with others, realizing, if people like us, why do they like us? Or is it because we're being phony? Or if they don't like us, is it because we're not being generous? And where's the balance here? Where's the harmonizing point between honoring our solitude and our own wishes and our own personal path with the needs of others in the form of service, but also even things like, noticing how liked you are, like noticing and sort of comparing. Wow, I realize I'm really not very popular or very liked or very likable because maybe I'm insulated and insular and protective and irritated or irritating. Or maybe everybody likes me, but it's because I just give away all of my energy and I'm just trying to be popular, and I'm measuring my self-worth by how many people like me, even though it's at the expense of my own convictions. So these are big themes right now because of Saturn. Because Saturn is in Libra. We're going to keep working on these themes for quite a while. And we could definitely be noticing this as well. Rahu, Venus are in Scorpio, and this brings a lot of passion to our desires and a lot of, there could perhaps be some jealousies, especially romantic jealousies right now, and the potential to distort things, blow them out of proportion a little bit if we're not careful. So we need to watch that. But it's also a deeply creative and devotional time with Venus in Scorpio. It's a very creative, devotional time as well, but we need to not be paranoid or get triggered. And it's aspected by Jupiter retrograde in Taurus. When you look up in the sky, after the sun sets, you see Jupiter up in the sky in the evening, the big bright star, and it's also next to a little red star. Jupiter is the big bright planet, and it's next to the red star of Rohini. That's what Rohini is. And then if you look over to the east, which would be visually your right, you'll see another big red star. That's actually Ardra, and that's where the moon is right now. You'll see the moon is very close to Ardra Nakshatra. And when you look up in the sky, you'll see that full moon next to a bright red star. That's Ardra. It's also called Betelgeuse in Western astronomy. So now I'm going to do the forecast for my gold members, those who join my website. It's only $39 a month, $39.95 a month. You get full forecast for every day of the month based on the Vedic Panchanga, based on the aspects and the things I'm talking about here, nakshatras and aspects. You also get this full moon and new moon forecast for your sign, and for each sign, that's also twice a month. So now I'm going to do that full moon forecast for my gold members for every sign of the zodiac, not just this general forecast, but for how this is going to be affecting each sign of the zodiac. And if you're interested in that, go ahead and sign up for it. You get a 2-week trial, only 1 penny. And if you don't want to keep going, cancel it before that's up and you won't be charged anymore. So you can try it for 2 weeks for 1 penny and see if you like it.